Never let you down, I'ma shine on sight. Keep your mind on your grind and off of mine's alright. Right hard, I'ma ball on those squares. I float in $250,000 cars everywhere I go. I know in the lead it may seem me might be, but no matter what they doing, they don't do it like me.
You're listening to the Urban Sports Scene.
Welcome to the Urban Sports Scene, folks. I'm back. I was on a little hiatus, had to deal with some house issue about to purchase a home, but I'm back. Big Fish is here again, holding it down, lead host and lead mic. I'm the Big G of the Urban Sports Scene out here. I'm joined today by my colleagues, Wally and Will T. We holding it down 3 deep. The fourth guy couldn't make it, Ray. He had to babysit his little kid. But we're going to hold it down as usual on the Urban Sports Scene. The first thing we want to lead in today is something that happened today. George Steinbrenner died. One of the top owners in the professional sports died today. We want to send our condolences out to him and his family. He was 80 years old. He lived a long, prosperous, rich, fabulous life. What you guys think about George Steinbrenner as a person and an individual and as owner?
One word to describe him simply is winner. The guy did everything he could to make sure that the Yankees were the best team in baseball. People always talked about the Yankees were bad for baseball, but only thing the guy did was, once they brought free agency to baseball, only thing the guy did was try to go out and let the Yankees field the best team possible. And I think as an owner, that's all you can do.
As an Orioles fan, I didn't like George Steinbrenner, but you have to respect the owner who cares about winning. And when he came to George Steinbrenner, all he cared about was winning. And as a fan of that team, I praise it. Over here we have an owner like that in Washington with Daniel Snyder. Not the same level, but he cares about winning. So in that regard, you care about his passion.
Yeah, I mean, isn't that the purpose, is to win? I mean, when you talking sports franchise, I mean, you own a team. If you go into a sports franchise of owning the team, I mean, obviously the goal is also to make money, but at the end of the day, it's about winning.
Yeah,
I mean, you need to do everything you can to put a winner, because in sports, when you put a win on the field, money comes as soon as they win a game.
And with him, it wasn't money totally. It was all about winning. He knew how to make money in terms of with the Yankees. He had deals, I believe, with television stations.
He started the Yes Network.
Exactly. So he made his money,
within the Yankees. I mean, because what he paid for the Yankees, he paid like just under $9 million for the Yankees. Even though at the time it might have been a lot of money. I mean, the Yankees are worth, what, $1 billion right now?
$1 billion,
stadium, everything. I mean, you can tell he has the good business sense, but I mean, I think right now, as far as where he may rank as far as all-time owners, I mean, I don't think you can really put anybody as his first, second, or third anything. But when you talk about that conversation, he is in that debate. To me, you're talking about the Steinbrenners, the Hallases in Chicago, Jerry Jones. I'm a Cowboy fan. Jerry Jones, those guys that would sell their soul to the devil to win a game. And I think Steinbrenner will go down as one of those top guys in owners in professional sports history.
Well, to me, he's the best owner of all time when it comes to owners. George Steinbrenner, when you think owners in any sport.
I think I don't want to cut you off. I think the thing about the owner is that, the impact as far as not just with his own team, but outside is, I mean, George Steinbrenner was able to, free agency and different stuff like that. So you just want to look at the stuff he did outside of his team also.
Oh, yeah, he's to me the best owner in sports. When it comes to George Steinbrenner, he doesn't get just the run-of-the-mill free agents. In Washington, we get like the 40-year-old free agent that was high at one time. He gets the up-and-coming, the in their prime free agents. So, yeah, he threw a lot of money at these free agents and whatnot. But he sold his product, too. His product is the New York Yankees.
I just want to add one thing. I do think, like Fish was saying, me personally, I do think he was the most influential owner in all of sports. And I also think if you look up the word hands-on owner, there'll be George Steinbrenner's face with all the managers that he fired, and then with Billy Martin. I think, what did he fire him, like 5 times, or rehired him and hired him back 4 times? Yeah. And he turned the Yankees into, I know Fish isn't going to agree with this, with America's team, essentially.
As far as baseball.
Yeah, they won.
They're America's team of baseball.
I think in general, period.
Well, you can't say one team. I mean, you have so many different sports. You can say they're America's team as far as baseball.
Is there that team you love to love? And
they're the team you love. They're the evil empire. But George Steinbrenner, we send our condolences out. Even George Costanza worked for George Steinbrenner. So that's how big George Steinbrenner was. But we want to jump to something else right now. It's speaking of, as far as Yankees and a Yankee fan, LeBron James, South Beach. He's probably at Wet Willie's right now throwing them back. I don't even know where y'all even want to start as far as the LeBron. Where do you even want to start at? I mean, they hating on him in Cleveland, everything else. So, I mean, where do you guys want to go as far as LeBron?
I mean, where do we start with LeBron? First of all, let's start about him leaving Cleveland. How do you all think he handled it?
I think it's, well, I don't want to cut you off. I think it's kind of 50-50. He handled it good, but handled it in a bad way.
How so?
I think as far as him making a decision was good, but he kind of dragged it out and made it a big spectacle about, this decision as far as how he was handling. I think he did it the right way. Let me make some money for the Boys and Girls Club of America. But at the same time, it ain't need to be no hour. Maybe 20 minutes at the most.
It didn't need to be in Greenwich.
Yeah.
But let's be real. That Boys and Girls in America thing was just a cover-up. So
he probably got stock in it.
To ease his own little angle. I heard the reason why he worked with Phoenix University or something like that, .com University or
is he
something.
getting an education?
No, I heard Jim Gray has some share of something in it, like he's an online professor or something like that, so it worked that way.
I could see that happen.
But anyway, when it comes, he handled it terribly. I think that if you're going to leave your hometown, why even put him through the agony of having a show?
Through what agony? What agony?
They love LeBron James over there in Cleveland.
True.
They have nothing over there but LeBron James. And if
Rock
LeBron,
and Roll Hall of Fame.
Yeah, that's weak. If you're going
Drew Carey?
That fat dude. If you're going to leave a team that you put a lot of time, and they have a lot of admiration for you too as well, and if you're going to leave that team, there's no need to have a whole hour show called A Decision. You know what I mean? And then you're going to get Jim Gray. You're doing something on ESPN, you're getting Jim Gray. Last time I checked, Jim Gray was doing HBO pay-per-views.
Well, let me ask you guys this. After what LeBron did, and then pretty much Dan Gilbert went off on LeBron. I mean, how do you guys feel about what Dan Gilbert reacted to LeBron's decision?
I think that actually Dan Gilbert was a blessing in disguise to LeBron because all the negative press that LeBron got from holding the 1 hour The Decision show, Dan Gilbert came and took all the bad press, with his email, his reckless comments, rather. Dan Gilbert pretty much stopped short of calling him a Negro in that letter to the fans.
I agree with you too, Will. Not with the whole Negro comment, but I agree with you in terms of Dan Gilbert did. What he did was basically took the negative attention away from LeBron James. I think LeBron was going to be vilified for leaving Cleveland anyway, but what Gilbert did was basically, gave LeBron the easy way out.
And this is what I'm hearing out in the press. They said that wasn't actually the first edit of the letter. So I wonder, what did he say in that first edit of the letter?
You know what? I want to know what he said before he wrote the letter, when he was just in his office with his peoples and they was drinking vodka or whatever they was drinking. They was sipping on something, and what he was really calling LeBron. I don't know what he was calling him.
We have a good idea what he was calling LeBron. Yeah. We just can't say it on the podcast.
I'll say it, a Negro.
This is we're gonna keep it clean. But we know we have a good idea what he was saying.
Yeah, he was calling LeBron Toby and Chicken George.
All we gotta say is Dave Chappelle. You know what I'm saying?
They never should have gave you money.
Season 1.
But I think Dan Gilbert, as far as his reaction, it just showed his true colors. To be honest with you, and I think LeBron really sees this.
So I agree with you, Fish. Obviously, you could just tell the anger and the hatred. Obviously, this wasn't the first time that he showed this type of emotion. Obviously, LeBron saw this type of emotion before. And to me, it makes me make an assumption that there's something that we aren't getting out of this story.
It's probably something we won't know until 20 years from now when LeBron goes into the Hall of Fame and they do that Sports Century on LeBron.
Yeah, because for Dan Gilbert to get this upset and for LeBron to kind of spur the Cleveland Cavaliers franchise, there had to be something done to both parties for them to get to this point.
Well, I think LeBron left Cleveland because he wanted to win a championship. For him not calling his owner or returning his text, there's obviously something underlying. I think it's obvious. No. I know. Obviously, no. I'm saying what I'm saying is obviously there's something behind the scenes that we don't know about. There has to be a reason why LeBron decided not to return his text or decided to call.
Yeah, because his contract was up. He gave him a 7-year contract, and you got 7 years of service.
I mean, we all have. Throughout this whole week, we've heard many ex-NBA players, current NBA players, great players, or whatever, basically said when their time was up, when they were going to leave their organization, all of them called their owners ahead of time and told them, Like, I'm gonna leave.
Well, you're not
This is-
required to do that.
We're not
but,
required